Grays.com, Australia's leading online auction marketplace. Who do we have in the gun this week? Would you like to go first?
Do you want me to?
Yes.
Well, it's in the gun, and it's in the gun for the next week. It's in the gun for 8 days. It's the Penrith Panthers. So it's not a Panthers pile-on, but they're the biggest story in rugby league at the moment. They're the 4-time champion. And I was just looking back at where they hit last night. Now I reflect on calling a game, and I am still in disbelief. Did I think they were absolute certainties? No, I didn't. But I'll repeat what I said at the top of the show at 6 o'clock this morning. Over the last 5 years, I reckon if you went back through the Fox League calls where Andrew Voss called Penrith, I would have said many, many times, Penrith would have beaten every team in the comp tonight. They were the perfect Panthers. Last night, and I'm not saying this lightly, I don't think they beat any team in the competition. That's how bad I thought they were last night. I go through individuals. It's just a given that a Cleary, a Yeo, and Edwards are going to play 8 out of 10 every week. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, sometimes 10 out of 10, often 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Cleary last night, I'd struggle to give him better than a 5. Dylan Edwards, like he tried, but nothing like him at his best. So 6. Yeo, nothing like him at his best. 6. So if you're 3 members of the Beatles, that's McCartney, that's Lennon, that's Harrison, aren't in tune, how's the overall song going to sound? Now, I'm just going to say, that's my first going. But I just, hello, you broke it. I'm just going to quote some defensive stats. Another 30 points conceded last night. Penrith, in the last 5 games of last year, conceded a total of 46 points. In the final series, the biggest games of the year, they went 10, 6, 6. They conceded 22 points in the 3 matches in the finals. That's an average of 7 a game. That average of 7 a game at the end of last season, the pointy end, is now 30 a game. Going, and this is pertinent, Gone. Sold. In the gun, Panthers for the next week. Next week is their biggest match against the Roosters. If they don't beat the Roosters Saturday week, Redfield Pen, they could be they might be 1-9 through the first 10
get to
rounds.
That. You had me before the numbers. Forget you had me at hello. You had me before the stats.
Okay.
Big. They're in the gun today.
Yep.
They're in the gun for the next week. They're in the gun for the next month.
Manly, Combank, Brisbane at Magic Ground, North Queensland, Townsville. On last night's form, they certainly don't beat Manly, Brisbane or Cowboys. So if you don't beat the Roosters next week, we're talking about a Penrith side 1-9. We're talking about a Penrith side that could lose 9 in a row. 9 in a row! No! Go
Andrew,
on.
in the salary cap era, when the competition is meant to have relative balance, how do you lose 16 straight games against one opponent? Now, I'm tempted to put people in the gun who are saying that the Warriors are Melbourne's bogey team. Well, they did beat them 3 times out of 4, but that was a decade ago.
Yes.
Since then, they've lost 16 straight against the one opponent. How does that happen in the modern NRL? And further to that, in the gun has to be, I think, their middle forwards, James Fisher-Harris, Mitch Barnett. Now, I'm not querying their form.
No.
I'm just saying that as co-leaders in the middle, you need to go and bash the Melbourne Pack and say, you are not winning today. Leka Halasima off the bench needs to get on the back of what Fisher-Harris and Barnett do.
Going once, going twice.
Rip into Melbourne, attack them and say, the rot stops now.
Sold! In the gun, Warriors, definitely. I mean, that's about 8 iPhones ago since they had a win against Melbourne. 16 straight.
And not just pipped at the post.
Yeah.
Many of them, they have been absolutely, I won't say, whacked.
Whacked. Wow, using the word whacked. Grays.com, Australia's leading online auction marketplace. We thank Grays.com. I mean, Penrith might be looking on Grays.com for a win. They sell wins. No, but just again, back to Penrith after last night, and we're all stunned by it. We are all stunned by the gravity of the full-time score, the awful attack of Penrith last night. Don't worry about the defensive stat. The attack was awful. They jagged a second try, one of the luckiest tries they'll ever be scored in the NRL. But they are now sitting 5 straight losses, so 1-5. If Parramatta was to get a result tomorrow night in Darwin, if the Roosters somehow pulled off something against Brisbane tonight, you know who'd be last? You know who would be last on the ladder?
Oh, I know the answer.
Penrith.
Yeah.
Penrith.
Yeah.
But no, they play the Roosters next week, next Saturday, and then it is Manly at CommBank. Are you tipping Manly or Penrith right now?
Manly.
Brisbane at Magic Ground in Brisbane.
And North Queensland,
And
yes.
North Queensland in Townsville.
But that could change depending on what they do against the Roosters next weekend.
Yeah.
I know that Mark Braybrook is standing by with the news. Can we give an honourable mention? Can we get the gavel ready once more?
Yeah, sure. Oh, sorry.
If St George Illawarra find the lead tonight at Wynn Stadium by 6 or 12 points, in the gun has to be the Dragon's spine. Get your team home.
Ooh.
Get your team home.
Sold. There's an encore performance for Grays.com. All right, news is next. Plenty of text coming in. Still giving it to Amy Shark. Hey, boys, I'd like to request the Ivan song. John from... No, that's been well and truly parked. The Ivan song. Might be a long while before we get to play it again.